Hello, hello. It's Wednesday, the 27th of April, 2022. Hope you all are doing well. Thanks for joining me. I'm broadcasting live from the Casa del Hacking. I worked from home today. I just had a few online meetings, so I figured we finally have some nice weather. Why not enjoy it? Everybody, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. I posted the link to the waiting room if you want to come in and ask me a question. I'd love to try to answer it. We're going to have a fun show today. I'm very excited. Had an interesting question that I don't think I've covered before, certainly not on this show, but I don't even know if I have a video. And that is that somebody in the Facebook group asked whether or not USCIS asks about the couple's sex life. And I thought that was an interesting question that we could talk a little bit about on today's show. So we'll do that in just a little bit. For now, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. I love to see where everybody is. Tom's saying hello. Always good to see Tom. Raphael's down in Tampa. We got Nelson in LA. Ike saying hi to all. Minneapolis, Palm Bay, New Jersey. It's cold. Oh man, we finally got some sunny weather today. I'm very happy about that. Megan's back. Glad to see Megan in Philly. Have you had your interview yet? I really enjoyed our office visit in Philly. We got Cleveland. We got Florida, Cindy B, Raleigh. And of course, at the top, we of course have our friend Rocio, who is watching us as always from Columbus, Ohio. We got Kyle in Oklahoma. And Zenos asked whether or not I'm an immigration lawyer. Thanks for the reminder. I am an immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States, out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. We have attorneys also in Ohio and Wisconsin, I should mention, but those aren't official offices. Hope you all are doing well. We already have some people in the waiting room. If you want to come on the show, you got to be on camera that in the waiting room. That way I know that you're there. And I see that Shambawi's here. So let's go ahead and say hello.
Hi, I was really startled by my face there. So this, I don't know if this is a common problem or not, but when I moved from Florida to North Carolina, I was stupid and I lost my passport and green card. And I have my interview for my citizenship in like a month or so.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I realized I lost my passport like way earlier, and I filed a police report for in Florida where I lost it.
Yeah.
But then I didn't realize my green card was with the things that I lost my passport with until last week when I got my interview request.
Yeah.
I went to look for it.
Yeah. They'll just have you sign an affidavit that you lost your green card at the interview. They'll want to hear the history of that. I think that police report should be okay. I've had cases where the person hadn't filed any police report and they were still able to naturalize. So hopefully if you come in nice, they'll feel sorry for you. And I think it shouldn't be a problem.
Even though like the police report only just has my passport is lost and not my green card?
Yep.
Okay. So pretty much don't do anything.
How long ago was it? You said a year ago?
No, like in the last like 6 months.
So really the question you have to ask yourself, is it worth it to try to make another police report on the chance that they're going to give me a trouble about this at my interview? I think the chance of them giving you trouble about it at your interview is about 10 or 15%, 20%. And if they do give you trouble, they would give you a request for evidence, I would think, to give them a new police report. So I don't think they're going to want to go through all that. I think it'll be fine. Just understand the interview will get off to a little bit of a rocky start because they'll be pissed that you don't have your green card.
I have pictures of it.
They'll only be pissed. They have pictures of it too. They'll only be pissed because it means they have to fill out another form. That's all.
Okay. So I should be in the clear and I just need to bring my driver's license and that's it, I guess.
Well, I bring copies of everything. So if you have a copy of your old passport, whatever you can recreate, I think that would be in your favor. Do you have your birth certificate?
I've got copies of it.
Yeah. Can you get your original birth certificate or a certified copy?
Maybe I'd have to ask my parents. I'm not
I mean,
sure.
the thing is, when you don't have your green card, then your identity becomes shaky. If you have a stupid officer, your identity gets shaky, and then they start asking for extra stuff. So whatever you can do to bring them evidence that you are who you say you are. I mean, your fingerprints don't lie, but still, it's just so that you don't come across as unsympathetic to the hassle they're going through. I think you'll be fine.
Okay, cool. So just bring copies of everything, and that should be
Yeah.
enough.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. All right. Let's say hi to Brittany. Hi, Brittany.
Hi. I know I met with you or I saw you last time, last week. I just have two more questions because I'm probably going to sign the contract with you tonight.
Okay.
I just want to ask you directly because I don't know. I just wanted to ask you. So my main concern about filing the mandamus is not suing the government or anything. That doesn't bother me, but I'm just worried about what if they got he got denied, my husband,
Yeah.
and then we'd have to start all over again because I've talked to so many and everyone says different things. I'm just worried if would we have to file the I-130 all over again because.
So the lawsuit isn't to get a decision from the judge on the I-130. The lawsuit is to make them hurry up. So what I view the lawsuit is just a fast forward button. I don't think they treat your case better or worse because you sued them. So whatever fear you have about getting the case denied is going to be there no matter when they decide it. So I sort of almost view them as two separate things. Now, is this a green card case or is it an overseas visa case?
This is a green card case.
Yeah. So so the question is, on an I-130, the only question is whether or not the marriage is legit. So if the marriage is legit, they should approve the I-130. The shooting match is the 485. The shooting match is whether or not they think he's inadmissible for some reason. So that's something that, if you have concerns in the back of your mind about his admissibility, if he has some kind of yes answers to those tricky questions on the 485, if that's another thing, then that's something you're going to have to deal with at some point anyway.
Oh, no, I'm not. He doesn't have any criminal history or anything. He's just from Iran and served in the military. I'm just worried oh, well, we haven't we need more time sorry. Hello.
Yeah.
We need more time.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't really, I mean, they do ask for more time, but if they ask for more time, especially with Iranians, it's not that it gets denied. It's just that the lawsuit didn't work. The lawsuit doesn't always work. The lawsuit doesn't always make them decide the case. Sometimes they file a motion to dismiss and say, we want to mess around on this case some more.
Okay.
But they usually only do that on overseas cases. They don't do that on green card cases that often.
Okay. Overseas, not meaning because, well, I'm overseas, not an overseas, I live abroad. We live abroad. So is that separate, totally separate, the overseas thing, or
that's not a green. I mean, you're trying to get him a green card case, but what I'm saying, that's not an adjustment of status case. You just had. That's okay. That's okay. So
Sorry.
You're talking about an immigrant visa, yeah. So on an immigrant visa, they could sit on it, and they could refuse it. They could refuse it. Now, if they refuse it for 221G, most judges don't let them get away with that, and they go ahead and process those cases. But like I've been telling people, in about 10% of the cases, they file a motion to dismiss and they say, Brittany's husband hasn't waited long enough. There's nothing for you to see here, judge. COVID, national security. And they just keep sitting on the case. I can't predict or know when that happens. I just know that when people are stuck, their only chance is to take that lawsuit route. And I'm happy, whatever you want to do is fine with me. We got plenty of lawsuits, so I'm not trying to talk you into it either way. But if people are stuck, to me, it depends. Do you want to take that chance on the 10% chance that your case gets stuck and the lawsuit doesn't work?
Yeah. I mean, if there's a motion to dismiss, how long does that usually take?
So here's what I tell people. If they file a motion to dismiss, in many ways, we've already lost, because the purpose of the lawsuit is to hurry it up. So if they're going to the trouble of filing a motion to dismiss, that means they want to fight. And once they file the motion to dismiss, all of the momentum of the lawsuit stops. Like we've sued them 1,100 times, and it's worked, like I said, 90% of the time. But we always need a little bit of help. We need a U.S. attorney who's sympathetic, or we need someone to at the State Department to say, yeah, let's get done with this case. But some cases they decide to keep fighting. And I wish if I had a magic wand and can predict when that happened, I'd be the happiest man, because I wouldn't sign up anybody who wasn't going to get picked. I would only sign up the people who were going to get their case that I knew it would work, but I don't work for them. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. I've looked for patterns. I've looked for tells. I've looked for signs like Nigerian divorces, those kinds of things that people get stuck. And frankly, Iranian cases are one where they sometimes fight. So
yeah. What do they usually say? They're like, well, he has a terror.
No. They just say background check. That they say, the embassies are overloaded because of COVID. We are actively working on Brittany's husband's case. There's nothing for you to see here, Judge. Tell hacking to pound sand.
Okay. Yeah, okay, one more thing. Sorry.
You're fine. The conversation that you and I are having right now is a conversation that people who are thinking about having a lawsuit need to hear and do hear. So, I'm not God. I'm not in charge of everything. I can only tell you what happens when we sue them. And we've had plenty of lawsuits work for men from Iran. We've certainly had motions to dismiss on men from Iran. We've had plenty of lawsuits for people stuck in Nigeria, and we've had them work and we've had them not work. We've had people, all different kinds of cases. So every case is different.
Yeah, I understand. If one more thing. So all lawyers say like different things and everything, but is like I've had a few lawyers that tell me, oh, we don't even take cases till after it's been 2 years since the interview or since the whole process. Like my husband's interview was about 7 months ago, but he submitted his the case got transferred from the USCIS to the NVC on January of 2021. So I guess it's been like over a year since his case. Like, do you think that that's risky? The time, like if we were to try to file a lawsuit now?
Here's what I'll say. The longer you wait, the less likely it is they file a motion to dismiss. So that's pretty early. You're at 14 months. I just filed one that was at 12 months, but that's because the client wanted to. So, obviously they're going to have a hard time saying that a 5-year delay is reasonable than they are going to have saying a 1-year delay is reasonable.
Because I'm like, can you use like, I have a business in the US and it's not under his name, but like he basically works full time doing it and we both do it together. They don't care. I mean, but could you use that as a thing? Like, we have a business. I haven't lived in the US for 4 years.
That doesn't help us, and you should think about reestablishing your domicile, because that's going to come up. They're going to be like, why should we give them a green card if you don't even live here?
Yeah. Well, I'm just like trying not to be separated. Luckily, we're able to live together.
But the fact of the matter is, my clients always want me to add in all these extra facts. And after having done it 1,100 times, I don't mean to sound cynical, but I honestly don't believe that they read the complaints. I think they take the complaint, they look up Brittany's husband's name, they look up the case number, and then they say, is this one we want to fight, or is this one we don't want to fight? If they don't want to fight, then they call the embassy, and the embassy starts processing. If it's one they want to fight. So as far as all these people that want me to add all these extra facts, I'll do it to make the clients happy. But at the end of the day, I don't believe they actually read the lawsuits. And I certainly don't believe the judges read the lawsuits.
Oh, judges don't always read everything. It's annoying, but yeah, they really don't.
They'll read motions to dismiss and stuff, but they're not gonna like jump up and down because, we got a new complaint here. USCIS has been sued again. I mean, they're getting sued out the wazoo right now. So judges know that USCIS lawsuits generally work themselves out. I mean, I've filed 1,100 of them. I've only talked to a judge 20 times, maybe 10. Like, we've briefed stuff, But do I actually talk to the judge? Does the judge? There's no trial. There's no, oh, let's call Brittany and see how hard it is for her to be separated from her husband or for her husband not to be able to come to the United States. That stuff never happens. I can throw it in an affidavit when they file a motion to dismiss, but for the most part, the judges aren't waiting with bated breath to see what Jim says in his reply. It's just another case to them that's probably going to work itself out. I mean, the other weird thing, I was talking to somebody about this on the show yesterday, is they'll file motions. There's this one U.S. attorney in Kansas City. He files motions to dismiss all the time, but all those cases keep processing. So the lawsuit gets things moving, but they also file a motion to dismiss. I honestly don't know why he does it, because he's just creating more work for himself, because I end up not even having to reply because they finished the
Oh, sorry.
hello. I can't even figure out what's going on. Brittany, I'm going to let you go, okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. That was me ranting and raving. Let's go ahead and talk to Stella, see what she has to say.
Hi, Jim. So I'm also having a question about the lawsuit.
Sure.
I think Brittany just asked you about the thing, and you are talking about the government fight back. And I actually have a question. Is there a possibility that the court won't take the case?
Well, I mean, if I file the case and I file it in the right jurisdiction and I pay the fee, the court can't reject the case. But what can happen? So we probably file 5 or 6 lawsuits a week, I would say. So let's say every 2 weeks we file 10 lawsuits. Okay. 9 of those, we sue the defendants. They get a copy of the lawsuit and they start working on the case. And then they issue a decision. They put the person in line for his oath ceremony. They give the person the green card. They send the person back to the embassy to pick up their passport with their visa. That happens in 9 out of 10. In 1 out of 10, they file, or even 1 out of 20, they file a motion to dismiss. And so then the judge says, okay, the government wants me to dismiss this lawsuit. What do you think? And then I get to reply. And then the government gets to reply, and then the judge just sits on it. So then it sort of defeats the purpose of the lawsuit. So it's not that the court doesn't take the case; it's that the government puts a stop on it by filing the motion to dismiss.
Okay, I got it. But at the end of the day, the result is the same. Like if they fight back, then
you're still waiting. That's what I always say. I need a little bit of help. But remember, the main purpose of the lawsuit is to get their attention. It's that no one's paying attention to the case. And so at least, so I guess what people have to ask themselves is it worth $4,100 and a $402 filing fee? So $4,502. Is it worth $4,502 on the 9 out of 10 chance that this makes them take my case off that big ass pile that they have and get back to work on it? And sometimes they don't. Sometimes, so that's sort of how I do the calculations in my head if I were an immigrant thinking about suing.
Okay, so I'm good on that question. And one more thing is that I think you mentioned before, or maybe I read somewhere, like the government has like 60 days to make a decision. Yeah. And I think you also mentioned you will sometimes give them an extension, like after the 60 days.
For sure.
What is that? And are we giving them unlimited extension?
No.
Yeah.
So the main reason I give them an extension is that because we've seen some action. So like they might issue a request for evidence. Like so if we operate from the assumption that only a desperate person who's seeing no action on their lawsuit would file a lawsuit, that's how people come to me, right? Like the case is stale, nothing's happening, they're not taking the next step. So the next step might be a follow-up interview. It might be come knock on the door at your house. It might be give us some more evidence. It might be come in for a second interview. Any of those things are possible.
Okay.
So when I file the lawsuit, I serve it on them. And there's like some places like Baltimore. When I sue Baltimore, they get done and they decide the case. Chicago, same way, right? Other places like Louisiana, they're going to go out and do some more investigation, or they're going to do another interview, right? So as long as I see some kind of movement towards completion, then I'll give them the extension, right?
So actually within the first 6 days, you see some movement, like
Oh, sometimes. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's what I mean, like about Baltimore. Like they don't even wait for the U.S. attorney to get involved. They just get working on it. Detroit's pretty good about that too. Chicago for sure. They don't even wait to talk to the government attorneys. The lawsuit goes to the office where the case is, and they get working on it. So yeah, we get action before the 60 days a lot of times, and I would say even more than half the cases get finished before the government even asks for an extension or answers.
So you mentioned different places, like Baltimore or
Yeah.
other places. So I think I heard that we filed the lawsuit in D.C., Washington, D.C. Then why different places involved here?
Well, so I wore out my welcome in Washington, D.C. So here's what happened. So
Okay.
when I first started doing lawsuits, I did them in St. Louis, in St. Louis and Chicago, because I was licensed in federal court in Illinois and in Missouri. I wasn't licensed anywhere else. So then I said to myself, well, what if I went up and got admitted to the Washington, D.C. court?
Mm-hmm.
Because USCIS was headquartered there, right? But
Yeah.
then I sued them so many times there that they got tired of me suing there, and so now I sue where the people live.
Oh.
Or I sue where, like, if there's a case stuck in the Nebraska Service Center, we file a lawsuit in Nebraska. Or if it's stuck in Dallas, we file it in Mesquite, Texas. We file it in Dallas, right? So depending on which courts I'm admitted to and which courts they're connected to the case, where the case is pending. So like if a case is pending at the Los Angeles field office, we'll sue in Los Angeles, in federal court in Los Angeles, because they got I sued them too many times in Washington, D.C., and they got mad at me.
Okay, got it. Thank you. That's all my questions. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Stella. Boy, it's lawsuit day today. Thanks, Stella.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. If you could please do me a quick favor, just while you're at it, if you could leave us a review. We're trying to get up to 500 reviews. If you just go to reviewhackinglaw.com, we'd really appreciate it. If you just take 60 seconds, leave us a 5-star review. We would really appreciate that. Let's go ahead and talk to Ukraine. What's up, Ukraine?
Hello. My name is V. Hello from Branson. I have a question. So I've been in a situation where I graduate in May the 7th, and I'm an international student from Ukraine. And so I applied I won a DV, and I applied for adjustment of status like 3 months ago.
Great.
And then thank you. And then one month ago, I had in St. Louis biometrics.
In St. Louis?
And so been to your city.
But not Kansas City. I would have thought you would have gone to Kansas City for biometrics if you were in Branson.
Somehow they scheduled me there. But so now I'm waiting for 1 month for my case status to change. What's next? But I was a little worried because I graduate, and they give 2 months for me to like.
You're on an F1?
So I can do OPT. So after graduation,
do all of it. Do TPS, do OPT, and keep pushing your green card. You never know what's going to happen.
So don't just wait until green card will come. Mm-hmm. Just do OPT. Apply for OPT. Yep. All right, gotcha. And then
now with your green card, so you checked the visa bulletin and your line number was current and all that. Yeah. So if your case is pending in St. Louis or Kansas City, they're both really good about DV stuff. And the good and the bad. The bad is that the embassies are doing a really bad job on the diversity visa cases. But the good thing for you is that means that there's a lot better chance that you're going to get it all done by September. So they're pretty good when they know that somebody has to get it done by September 30th. They should get moving. You should have an interview pretty soon. You did your fingerprints, right?
Oh yeah, I did.
Did you file with a lawyer or did you file by yourself?
No, I filed by myself.
Did you file for a work card and a travel document and all that stuff?
Work card, travel document. I don't think I applied for that. So I have to stay in US. Yeah. But I just didn't want to go with OPT because it's 420. So
I know, but just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Well,
did you do TPS?
TPS, I don't want to do it because if I do TPS, it's gonna all the benefits of DV will disappear. So I didn't want to risk.
Why would all of your benefits disappear if you get TPS?
Is it like protected status or something for 18 months? Is that the thing?
You should apply for OPT, apply for TPS, and push your green card case.
Gotcha.
You should do all
All
three
right.
things.
I'll do that. And a quick question before I go. It's like this. They have this program recently, uniting Ukraine. So
Right.
is maybe you heard about it. So I have relatives back in Ukraine, like my mother, my sister, my father.
Yeah.
Some of them are in Ukraine, and some of them refugees in other country in Europe.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, how can I bring them here or something like that?
Here's what I'll say about that. I don't know the answer to your question, but I'll know next week. So come back next week, like on Tuesday, and I'll have an answer for you.
All right, because I wasn't sure how it works or something.
I don't know. I haven't looked at it.
Gotcha. All righty. Thank you so
Look,
much.
V. Yep. See you, buddy.
Yep.
V's got lots of options. V can proceed with TPS. V can proceed with the diversity visa, which is going to get him a green card. That's his best bet. And V has OPT, can get OPT, and he should do all those things. All right. Let's talk to Mohammed. Hi, Mohammed.
Hi, Jim. Happy Ramadan.
Thanks. Same to you. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great. What can I do for you?
I have a quick question, please. So, I am married and I live with my wife's family. So, I filed the taxes separately, married separately. Is that a problem? And my appointment is coming soon in May 24th in Kansas City, and I live in Branson.
Boy, it's Branson day to day on the old Hacking Immigration Law show. Why would you file for taxes separately?
I just didn't know. And I had some amendment with the CPA, and she suggested to, if I can, for last year, but this year she said you can file married separately, because my wife also, she wasn't ready and she just filed her taxes like lately. We tried to file jointly, but they didn't approve it because I already filed separately. I wanted to amend it next year.
When is your interview for your green card?
Is in May 24th.
My strong suggestion is go to a different CPA and tell them you want to amend your tax returns to file them jointly.
Okay. Thank you so much.
That's it?
Also, should please, last question.
You're fine.
Do I have to bring the co-sponsor new taxes of this year?
They'll probably want them, yeah.
Okay, so because her dad who is sponsoring me.
Yeah, they'll probably ask for them if you haven't sent them in already.
We sent the 3 years ones, and should they add this year too?
If they ask for it.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right,
appreciate
great.
it. Salam alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. All right. Let's talk to Zek. What's up, Zek?
Hi, Jim.
How are you?
I'm working through that notice of intent to revoke now.
That's a fun project.
Yeah, they finally got that issued thanks to your team.
Yeah, well,
and I also hired your team to help me through this.
Right. Be careful what you ask for. Yeah. Now, listen, you're our actual client, so I want to be careful about what we talk about on camera. So just whatever you're comfortable with. Okay.
All right. Now,
talk off camera if you want to.
I have a couple of quick questions.
Sure.
As I'm working through this, the reason I brought it on your show is because this might come in helpful for other people.
Okay, perfect.
I used a Google Pixel phone on both of my trips, the trip I got married and this trip in 2022 when I went back to Cambodia. And all of my pictures that I took were on, they show up on my Google Maps, and it shows my entire trip.
Nice.
So I'm able to lay out day by day.
Oh, that's
and I just wanted to know or make sure that that's the right way to do it. But I can track every place I went and then show the pictures of what I took when I was there. So I've got 1 day's worth of travel on one page, the next day the pictures from that. Because it shows, I don't know how well can you see that okay?
Yeah, I can see it.
So it shows the date, where I was, what time the pictures were taken, and where we went that day.
I would call that great evidence. It reminds me, Zach, of one of my early green card cases where the couple showed up with 2 pictures and they were both in the same apartment. And in one, they were wearing coats and parkas, and the other, they were wearing swimsuits. But the fools were so dumb that it had the date stamped at the bottom. They took both pictures the day before the interview. So this is much better than that.
Okay. All right. And then the other thing is it places approximate location.
Yeah.
So like here, Back Cave of Phnom Penh, this is me, my wife, and one of her nieces.
It's great.
Okay. So I'm going down the right path then.
That's good stuff.
I will keep doing that.
Anything else?
That was my main quick questions. And a note to any of your other.
I wonder if you can do that with Apple. Anybody knows? That's all good evidence.
Yeah. If anybody else with Google Pixel phones, it's automatic in there. So it's saving us right now.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye, Zach. See ya. All right. Let's say hi to Alyssa. Hi, Alyssa.
Hi, Jim. How are you doing?
Great. How are you doing? I love those glasses.
Oh, thank you so much. So my husband and I, he's an engineer, I'm an architect, and we recently just both got new jobs. We live in Virginia right now, and my job is in Georgia. His job is going to be in Virginia with the stipulation that after 6 months, he'll become remote. So then he gets to come move down to Georgia. So we're going to be spending a couple months apart. We haven't gotten an interview date or anything yet. So we're just wondering how that looks come we've applied for the green card, but how that looks to USCIS, and what we should do living wise, if there's anything we should do in particular.
So this is a great question. I've had lots of cases like this. I actually really enjoy these cases because it takes a little bit of extra thinking. But so first of all, when did you two meet?
We met in December of 2020. Okay.
And then when did you get married?
June 2021.
And when did you start living together?
June 2021.
So we, at the very least, we have, and you're still living together right now today, right?
Yes. Well, as we're moving.
From June, oh, right. Oh, there you go. So from June 21 till now, you've lived in the same spot.
Yes.
So we have good evidence of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're in good shape there. Now, the 6 months that you're apart, the main question is, do we believe that this is really for business purposes? Do we believe this relationship? What efforts have the couple made to see each other during the time they live apart? And what's the long-term plan? So you've got most of that covered. So really all we're talking about is how do we document the time apart?
Okay.
So I would be a little bit deliberate. You don't have to go crazy, but like I would do some chats. I would chat, keep screenshots of that over time. I think you want to take some screenshots of you guys talking to each other, and then of course travel. So like one of the early ones of these I had was actually a same-sex couple. They were both doctors. One got his residency in Nashville and one was in St. Louis. And they were really good at, like, that was only 4 hours away. I don't know how far apart you're going to be, but they would drive to see each other. And I think the immigrant had weekends off and the one in St. Louis didn't. And so the immigrant was always the one to come back. But I told them to keep good track of all that, like actually keep gas receipts and stuff. So anytime you guys are going to see each other, make sure, I would just get a big envelope and just throw everything in there. Print out your plane ticket or your train ticket or your gas receipts, all that stuff. And then I would even also keep a little calendar. As long as you're going to see each other somewhat regularly, say, okay, from this day to this day, we were together, this day to this day, would take pictures when you're on those visits and all that stuff. Just document it. But you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
So, I mean, we won't be able to drive. It's a little bit too far for that. So we're going to have to do flights, and we're tight on money. So we want to do it as often as possible. But what would you recommend? Twice a month or? Oh,
no. Just do whatever you want. Don't feel like you have to don't feel like you have to manufacture evidence. I mean, as long, really the truth probably is, Alyssa, that if you have paycheck stubs, earning a documentation that he's working in Virginia or you're working in Virginia, that you're working separately for the purposes of employment, like some kind of letter from your employer, like make sure you name each other as, emergency contacts at both jobs, do all that stuff. And as long as you can show that it's for financial reasons, that it's only for 6 months. And then of course the kicker is that it's only for 6 months and then he gets to go virtual.
Right.
Good to go.
Okay, and then the second question that comes along with that is, since we filed in Virginia, we're filed with the Potomac branch or whatever for USCIS.
Yeah.
Do we need to change our address to what my address will be in Georgia,
So,
or what do we do?
that's good. I'm glad you. So first of all, have you filed already or no?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So when you filed, you were living together.
Yes.
And you used the Virginia address.
Yes.
And who's and are you the citizen or is he the citizen?
I'm the citizen.
Okay. And so are you the one that's moving or is he the one that's moving?
We will both have to move. He's going to move in Virginia, but I'm moving to Georgia. So we're going to have to change an address regardless.
For both. Yeah. Well, you're going to change his address. You don't have to do an AR11, but he'll have. This is interesting. Okay. So he's moving. So do you know which field office would conduct your interview? I can check this out for you.
The Potomac one?
No, that's the service center, but eventually you're going to have a green card interview, right? And
Right.
So like if you're outside DC right now, that would be Fairfax.
Yes, that's where we're at.
But is he moving to somewhere like by Richmond or by
Nope, he'll still be in this area.
Okay, good. So then the question is, will the interview be in Fairfax or will the interview be in Atlanta? That's the next question. Now, because you're so far down the track and because he's going to be doing an AR-11 from Virginia to Virginia, your interview will probably be in Virginia.
Okay.
So that part's good. Because when you jump from like Virginia to Atlanta, that makes things a little bit more tricky. Was that your question, or did I forget?
Yeah, no, we were worried. So when we do file the new address, we're going to file his new address here, not my new address in Georgia.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a U.S. citizen has no obligation to file an AR-11.
Okay.
The immigrant does. So now make sure you keep track or proof that you filed that AR-11 and you know.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Jim. I really appreciate the help.
Good luck, Alyssa.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, bye. All right. Let's say hi to William. What's up, William?
Hi, Jim. Thank you for taking my So I have a question. So I know someone. The person got into a bit of a custody battle with his wife, and he ended up in jail. He wasn't able to post bail, and so he's been in jail since. But he's got trial coming up next month. But at the same time, today, he had his N400 interview. So he asked the judge, and the judge allowed him to leave from the jail to the interview. So my question here is, how does this whole case affect him, since his trial is coming up? He has not actually been convicted of anything. So how does that affect him?
I mean, I don't know what he's actually been charged with, and I
know if you want me to tell you.
Go ahead.
So it's actually 4 charges because there's 2 kids involved, but it has to do with, well, the current charges are kidnapping and then deprivation of parental rights or something like
that. The name of this case is withdraw the N400. That's the name of this case. There's no way they're going to give him his citizenship. They're certainly not giving his citizenship while he's sitting in jail. They're not going to give him citizenship while these charges are pending. And depending on the outcome, he's going to need 5 years of good moral character. So, they can look in, even if he gets acquitted, even if all charges are dropped, they could still deny him for his citizenship. But the case is too messy right now. I mean, William, I've never heard, I'll have to tell Amani, she won't believe it. I've never heard of somebody getting out of jail to go to their N400 interview. I love it. That's pretty amazing that he was able to pull that off, but I've never heard of it. I love it. But at the end of the day, I think that he's not going to get he's not going to get this application approved. He needs to clean up. What I would say is he needs to clean up his life and then refile. I'd love to hear what happened. I'd love to hear what happened when he showed up. I'd love to hear what happened when he showed up at USCIS today. Do you know?
He would have to call me because he's going straight back to jail. So to hear if he would have to call me. But the merits of this whole case, I think it's clear that this is somebody who is
clear to you because he's your buddy. Clear to you. It's not clear to the prosecutor.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that from during the court date a couple of days ago when the judge gave him permission to go to, because the state actually told the judge, hey, don't allow him to go. Well, but then the judge said, based on this person's track record, for all these years, he doesn't see any reason why he should be kept from doing something he's been aiming at for so long.
If the guy's so blameless, then why? I mean, I know there's innocent people sitting in jail who can't get bail. I understand that, but there's enough to the case that the judge didn't let him out without bond.
No, it's not that. They just made a strategic decision that they would rather use the money to get a good lawyer instead of come out and not have the money for. So it was more of a strategic decision that they made.
Maybe William, maybe, I don't know, but I'd love to hear what happened. You might want to call back tomorrow. We're gonna be on at 1.
Yeah, so hopefully I'll hear from him today,
let us know.
tonight, and I'll let you know tomorrow.
I'll pull you right up. Yeah, I'd love to hear what happened.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Bye, buddy. Thanks for coming on. All right, now I did promise early on, we made a TikTok about this today. We thought it sounded like a TikTok-y kind of a topic, but somebody asked in the Facebook group, what does USCIS ask about your sex life? What does USCIS ask about your sex life? So if you want to see my quick and dirty answer, go on TikTok, but I'll give the longer answer here. So I've been to 400 or 500 green card interviews, I think. I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating. I don't know. 300, 400, 500. I don't know. Tons. I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years. Yeah, that's probably too much. Maybe 300. Anyway, it sounds better when I say 500. Just kidding. Anyway, in all those interviews, I've only had them talk about people's sex lives maybe 15, 20 times. And usually they keep it very vague. Just like they want to know, has the marriage been consummated? Consummated, which means did the couple actually have sex? So if there's a kid involved, obviously it's been consummated, so there's no question. Really, the consummation question comes up when the couple lives apart. So if the couple is unclear or the facts don't demonstrate that the couple live together, that's where you're going to get into questions about consummation of the marriage. But as far as, I mean, they do ask about tattoos and body parts, not the sexual organs, but they do ask about body parts. But they don't ask about like sex positions or habits or any of that kind of stuff. I've never heard them do that. And if I were in an interview and they tried that, I would tell them to knock it off. So hope that answers the question. If you want to see more, go ahead and check us out on TikTok. Let's say hi to Effie. What's up, Effie?
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm doing great as well. Well, I have a question about CPT. Okay. I'm an F1 student majoring in information technology at Georgia Southern University. Well, I received some offers for my internship, but I couldn't go forward with them because I don't have a work permit here. But my CPT actually authorized for one of the companies in New Jersey, and I'm really happy for it, actually. I was looking forward to it. In this case, I know that I don't need any sponsorship, and we are moving forward with the company. For the future, I'm expecting to start my internship at May 23rd. And my I-20, my CPT has approved. I called USCIS. They also said approved. What I'm wondering is, what documents might the employer require from me? Do I need to pull, can they question about my citizenship status or something like that?
Well, you'll have to fill out a 9-9 like everybody else. You'll have to show that you have the capacity to work. And with the employer, if the employer has been through CPT before, they should have people in the HR department that know how to read an I-20. So you should be fine. You'll just need your identity documents, your passport, and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, my question comes here. I'm wondering whether if I need to provide my I-20 to them, because they're actually not familiar with the I-20 or CPT. But for I-9, there are like 3 sections, my I-94 or passport number, which I'm very comfortable to provide those information. But for I-20, I'm just kind of curious whether I really need
you have to. Yeah, for sure. That's your proof of eligibility.
Okay, that was my question, actually.
How long are you going to do CPT for?
For 12 months.
Can we do 11 months and 25 days? Don't do a full year. Do just under a year.
Oh, sorry, 12 weeks. I'm going to do
12 weeks. Okay, good. Yeah, so like a semester.
Yes, but that's pretty much it. My concern about providing my I-20 is actually they want to continue with me. We already had I already presented some projects to them. Yeah. But after my CPT, I'm not going to be able to.
That's right.
Citizenship.
When are you graduating?
May 23.
So next year. So tell them to sponsor you for OPT, and you'll be good to go.
All right. That was my question. I know the consequences of illegal work. I'm trying.
Yeah, no, you're fine. No, they'll. I mean, make sure as long as you can prove when you started working, when you stopped. That's all you need.
Okay. By any accident, just being curious in this situation, trying to understand the process. If I don't provide my I-20, am I going to face with any consequences or any charges?
I don't think the employer would allow you to work. They shouldn't.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Effie.
Appreciate it. Have a nice day.
Buddy. See ya. All right, let's say hi to Michael. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Jim. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm great. I have some few questions to ask you, Jim. I'm in Ghana right now. I got divorced from my wife, and I have a VAWA case pending. My wife withdrew the I-130, so my I-485, my adjustment of status was denied. I would like to know that if my VAWA is approved, am I going to get my I-485 reinstated?
No, because you're out of the United States, right? So your 45 is dead. You'd have to get an immigrant visa on an approved I-360.
Oh, okay. So which means that I'll need an immigrant visa to come back. Are you saying that now my processing is going to be outside the United States?
If you're outside the United States, yeah.
For my green card?
They'll send you the green card. There's a lot of ifs here, Michael. Number one is a VAWA case of a woman against a man going to get approved? That's number one. Number two, is a VAWA case going to be approved when the immigrant is overseas? And number three, is the embassy going to give a visa to somebody from Ghana based on VAWA? I think it's all a real long shot.
So are you saying I don't have a chance of it being?
I don't know anything about your case. You might have the strongest VAWA case on earth, but it's always harder to get a VAWA case approved for a man victim. I've never handled a VAWA case overseas. I would imagine most embassies haven't either. So I think and VAWA cases take 3 years just with the USCIS part. So I think you don't have to tell us why you left the United States, but that's a whole other issue, that you made it a lot more complicated by leaving.
Okay. I've gained admission to the university in the US. Assuming I get a student visa to come to the US to study.
Then
what happens
if the 360 gets approved? Then you can apply for adjustment. But you have a bigger problem. If a university wants to accept you, and if a university issues you an I-20, you still might not be able to come because you've demonstrated immigrant intent by hold on a second, my battery's running low. You've demonstrated immigrant intent by applying for the I-130 with your wife and with the I-360. So I think that the chances of you getting an F1 visa are very, very slim.
Just because I have a pending case, immigration pending case?
No. So an F1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. That means you're going to go and come back, but you've already demonstrated immigrant intent by having a U.S. citizen file an I-130 for you, and by filing an I-360. You've said to them, I want to reside in the United States. They don't give temporary non-immigrant visas to people who applied for a green card before. Do you understand?
Okay. I would like to know, when I'm applying for non-immigrant visa, there is a space where they ask for, have you ever applied for an immigrant, petition or something like that?
Yeah, the answer to that is yes, you have.
Okay, so if
that means no F1 for you. That's what that means. You understand?
I didn't know separate cases because I'm coming
All
to
about
college.
the person. It's all why the biggest question on a non-immigrant visa, like an F1 or a B1, is, do I believe this person is going to come back to Ghana?
Sure. Let me tell you this. I mean, when I had my previous non-immigrant visa, I never overstayed in the US. I came back on time.
But you applied for a green card.
Okay.
So in their mind, you tricked them. You came on a non-immigrant visa, and then you got married and applied for a green card. So you tricked them once. So why are they going to believe you this time?
Oh, I mean, if I had overstayed, I had intent to immigrate. I mean, when I had a problem with my wife, I left.
The day you filed the I-130, the day your wife filed the I-130, you rang a bell. You rang a bell that you can't unring. That bell stays with you for the rest of your life. You'll probably never get a non-immigrant visa to the United States, and you have a pending I-360. And in my mind, they're going to say, man, this guy's really desperate to stay out of Ghana. He's filed a visit visa. He's filed for a green card. He's filed for a VAWA case. And now he wants to go back on an F1. That's a whole lot of loving on the United States. And that's just the kind of person they don't want to let come. I mean, many student visas are denied, not just yours. Many are. So I think the chances of your plan working are very, very small.
So just because I have an immigrant petition pending,
and
doesn't mean
you had one in the past. More about the one in the past.
But I just want to get something clear here. Even though you're telling me my chances are slim, I agree. Okay. Now the petition is pending. I want to come to school to study. If you're telling me that I'm going to have to process my green card documents in Ghana, then which means that I'll have to definitely come back home for the interview for the green card, which I will come anyway.
No, you would do your green card in the United States if you're in the United States.
So which means that when I'm fortunate and I'm granted the non-immigrant visa, then that means I'll have to adjust my status.
Michael, I'm going to tell you what, if you get a non-immigrant visa to the United States on a student visa, you come to St. Louis, I'll take you out to lunch. I don't think that's going to happen. I might not get the plug. My plug is out there on the corner. Yeah, I don't think that's happening, brother. You are a true optimist if you've listened to what I said and still think you're getting a visit visa or a student visa. Not going to happen.
Because I demonstrated good intent. I never, even though you telling me that, okay.
I'm not saying you ever had bad intent. I'm saying you had immigrant intent. That's the problem. I'm gonna let you go, Michael.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
See you, brother. Yeah, that was interesting. Let's say hi to Maggie. Maggie, are you with us? Hello, Maggie. Nope, Maggie's not. Thanks, Nor. Say hi to everybody, Nor.
Hi, guys. Make sure you follow the TikTok.
I told them.
We're almost at 19K.
19K. All right. Nor brought me a plug because my laptop's about to die. This is good television here. I'm telling you that. All right, we got time for one or two more. Let's say hi to Tim.
Oh,
what's up, Tim?
What's up, Jim? Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
One quick question. So we filed for an adjustment of status based on marriage, and I got my biometrics last November. My wife is a resident, by the way, permanent resident, and she just received a notification for her citizenship interview.
Great.
So do we need to change anything about the application?
No. Nope. If she gets her citizenship, you can update them and tell them that she became a citizen, but you don't need to do anything. They know what to do.
How would I do that? Just call them?
I would make a copy of her certificate of citizenship and mail it in with your receipt notice for your 485 and tell them, hey, the petitioner became a U.S. citizen, so please upgrade my category. Nothing really is going to happen because your visa priority date is current as the spouse of a green card holder, but it might shake things out a little bit.
So would that speed up the process, or it would make it slower?
In theory, it won't make it slower. In theory, it'll make it faster, but I don't know that I actually believe that.
Okay, and what if she changed her name? Because the thing is, when we got married, she didn't change the name because she has an application for citizenship. Can she change her name now?
Is she changing it through the citizenship process?
Yeah, after the citizenship, she'll take my last name. Is that
but
good?
I want to make clear what you're asking. Are you saying, so when you there's sort of two ways to change your name. One is when you go through the naturalization process and the judge swears you in. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So yeah, she can change her name, and you can just tell them she changed her name. Just lay it out for them. The trick is to get her citizenship case to be connected to your green card case. That's the trick. So send them a copy of the naturalization certificate. Send them a copy of her old green card, and then send them a copy of the approval notice for the N-400, and then your receipt notice, and say, hey, my name's Tim. My wife just became a U.S. citizen. She had sponsored me as the petitioner as a green card holder. Now she's a U.S. citizen. Please upgrade my case, and then they should do it. Did you? I'm sorry. Did you say you already had your interview, or you're waiting on your interview?
No interview yet. We actually filed for concurrently, so 130, 145, I-7, 765, and 134.
Yeah, that's fine.
So should I attach all the notices for those applications?
Yeah, can't hurt.
Okay. And one more thing.
Sure.
So she's currently pregnant right now, 4 months pregnant.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. Is that a good enough reason to file for an expedite request, or at least for the work permit? Because
Yeah, I would. Yeah, sure.
And I read some of forum threads that some people apply for job first and they wait for the job offer, and then they attach that as supporting document. Is that good?
Here's the thing, Tim. If you've watched the show very long, I don't believe much in expedite requests. I don't put much hope in them. I don't think they honor them. I don't think they process them. And I think even when they say they approve them, they don't do anything differently. So you can go ahead and do that. And I think throwing all that stuff in is good, but don't get your hopes up.
Okay. That's fair. All right. I think that's it.
You got a lot of good stuff going. Good luck with everything, Tim. See you, buddy. Keep us posted. All right. Let's say hi to Harry. Hi, Harry.
Hi, Jim.
I like that shirt.
Sorry?
I like your shirt.
Thank you, Jim. So I have a question. So I went on K1 interview recently in Ghana, and they saw my pictures, my engagement pictures with I and my fiancée and her son. So they asked me if it is traditional marriage, and I was confused by then. I thought it might help my case, so I was like, oh yeah, we are kind of traditionally married. And they said that in Ghana it is legal, so we don't have to file for K1, so we should go back and the officer told me to go back and go and file for a marriage case based visa.
Yeah.
So my wife was so confused and was like, if there will be any appeal to change,
you don't want to do that. That's a waste of time. Just file. You got to file the I-130, but it's all messy now. It's all mess. I mean, first of all, you just called her your wife, so they're treating this as a wife, right? So we've had plenty of cases. I haven't had one of these in a while where people are actually married, and now the thing is, Harry, I think you need to check the visa reciprocity table to see what constitutes a real marriage in Ghana. If it's a real marriage, then you should have filed an I-130, not an I-129F.
So we had that. We filed like a month before we had the engagement, but they said based on this one, in Ghana.
Yeah, if you could file a fiance case, and then if you get married in between that and the interview, you're in trouble.
Oh, okay.
That's what it sounds like. Did you say there's a kid, a son?
Yes, a son.
Yeah, so they know how things work in Ghana. They know that you're probably married, so that's what happened. So just start over. But you got to get married. I mean, you got to make sure it's married.
It is not my son. It is her son.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. We're trying to see, and we don't have any proof aside our pictures. We don't have any proof because if we want to file for marriage days visa, then we don't have any proof aside the pictures. So
So it's time, Harry, it's time to start building a better case. This sounds like a really bad case and like you were sort of set up for a failure. I don't know how many times she's come to see you, but she should come see you for like a month.
Been here 3 times.
3 times. So have her come, have her stay for a month, get married, and then file an I-130.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Thanks, Harry. Have a good night.
Thank you, Jay.
Oh, our friend Robert giving the Cardinals some love. We went to our first Padre game, Robert, last year. It was a lot of fun. That's a beautiful, beautiful stadium. I love the Padres. I love Tony Gwynn. I liked Goose Gossage. I like Trevor Hoffman. We love the Padres. We like the current Padres a lot. We love Freddie Tatis and I don't like Machado so much, but there's a lot of great players on that Padre team. We thought they were going to do better last year, but the Cardinals are indeed a first-class organization. We went to the game last night, and they stunk up the joint. They only had 3 hits, but it was a lot of fun. Everybody, I'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. If you haven't already, leave us a review, reviewhackinglaw.com. And we'll be back tomorrow, Daniel and I, at 1 p.m. Central. 1 p.m. Central. We'll see you then. Have a good night.